about what you mentioned before, talking about what is your level when you will compromise. Where well, and that was in terms of success. How successful will you get to where it's
That
like
was off pod, by the way. We were talking about
oh, that was off pod.
That was off pod.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, it was good. It was great what you were saying. But the same thing with pain. Like how much crap do you got to go through, or how much pain needs to be inflicted on you for you then to compromise?
Yep.
Even the core of who you are, which is your salvation in Jesus.
Yeah.
I don't
What's
know.
your price tag?
What's your price tag?
That's the thing is there's a monetary, literal price tag of like, what's the price tag? Like how much fame would cause you to compromise? How much money would cause you to compromise? How much attention from the opposite sex would cause you to compromise? But then there's, on the other hand, those are like what we would esteem as good things. How much pain will cause you to compromise? How much hardship will cause you to compromise? How many setbacks will cause you to compromise? How many unanswered prayers will cause you to compromise? Yeah. We all have, in a sense, ultimately the place we should get is that there's no price tag, because at the end of the day, the price has been paid. Jesus paid it in full. There's no price that needs to be paid, but many of us do, on one end of the spectrum or sometimes both, have a price tag at the place we'd be willing to compromise.
On a baseline level, Jesus, whatever pain you experience, Jesus experienced more on your behalf.
Yep.
When he died on the cross for you, if we were to just talk about comparing pain, because that a lot of times that's what motivates people. You see your dad or your mom that went through this hard struggle to give you a better future, a better life. Yeah. You're like, I'm gonna go hard. Yeah. Like that'll fire you up. Do the same thing with Jesus. He was flogged to the point where yesterday you're talking about where they didn't even recognize whether it was a man or an animal. You said that yesterday in your sermon. Compare your pain. Jesus went through more, so you can go harder.
Everything that we will ever walk through, Jesus walked through. Betrayal, he walked through betrayal. Judas betrayed him, completely turned his back on him. Ultimately, all the disciples walked away at the end of the day whenever it came, Jesus needed them the most. Pain, confusion, everything that we would ever walk through, Jesus has already walked through, and he did it perfectly. That's why Hebrews calls him our high priest, who is able to sympathize with our weaknesses, because he has been tempted in every way that we are, yet without sin. And that's something I really want to hit on real quick. Being tempted is not a sin. So many of us think that we're in sin if we're tempted. Like, I was tempted with that. Well, did you do it? Well, no. Then you didn't sin. Temptation is not a sin. Temptation is an invitation to sin. You shot the invitation down, bro. Good for you. Sorry if I hit you too hard. No, you're a cowboy. You can take it. But that's what it is. And so many of us think that when we're tempted, we're sinning and we beat ourselves up. And that's just like the enemy. If he can't get you with the fact that you went through with it, he'll get you with the fact that you entertained the idea for half a second, but then you said no. The enemy will always use anything he can to heap condemnation on you. And I just wanted to set somebody free with that. If you're dealing with temptation and you're not giving in to the temptation, you are not in sin. That's that.